My brother Joe, what's happening, man?
Oh, not a lot, dude. Just hanging out another beautiful Sunday.
Another beautiful Sunday.
Yep, we're here. We're live.
An
We
hour
are
earlier.
an hour earlier, new time.
Mm-hmm.
Part of this is called Beyond the Rack, and here we are. The wives weren't too happy about the cutting into kids' bedtime, right?
Absolutely not. So we got to make the wives happy.
Yeah,
Episode 7, man.
yeah. It's been 7 weeks
Episode
already. How
7.
about that?
7 weeks. Insane, man. Time flies when you're having a great time.
How
Joe,
about that?
I got to be honest with you, man. I'm looking in the camera right now, and we both look end of powerlifting season tired.
I am.
Yeah,
I
me
know
too.
you are. I am too. I mean,
I know.
we just spent a whole week in Lafayette. I mean, you got
A
there
whole week.
Tuesday. I got there Tuesday.
Yep.
We both
Yep.
left yesterday. It's a long week, long season. We talked about that last week about how long the season it goes. It lasts from November all the way to this weekend. And Alan, guess what? Next year it lasts a whole nother week longer
Whole nother week longer.
because of after that leap year, that next year it gets kind of all wonky with the week. So
Mm-hmm.
yeah, next year. I think the state championship, the last day I want to say is on the 29th of April of March.
Just another week to the training cycle after regionals. That's the
Yeah.
way I look at it.
Well,
That's the
regionals
way I
is
look at it.
actually a week later as well.
Oh,
Boys regionals
mhm.
is until March 1st. So really only have 3, 4 weeks to the day.
I'm good with it. I'm
Yeah.
good with it. You
You
know
know,
what a lot of people don't see is after everybody's leaving us on the EC, or we're what are we doing? We're loading up racks.
yeah,
we're
man. How how do you like your first taste of being part of the EC? Welcome.
hey,
I think I I think I
welcome.
told you that in passing yesterday, didn't I? I was like, "Welcome to the EC, Alan."
That's it, man. It's me, you, and few other schools were out there loading all the racks and helping Coach Urbina and Coach Todd getting things taken down, and we're hauling our all of our region racks to our respective hiding spots and locations, and we put them away for a year and check on them periodically, make sure everything's good, and here we
Then
go
we're right
again.
right back at it. I was there till 7:30 last night
Yeah,
at the arena. I was loading up stuff. It's shout out to John Burford for teaching me a new way to load these racks. He's been telling me for about a year. It's just two bolts. It's just two bolts. Well,
he wasn't lying.
he was not lying. He was not lying. Two bolts, quick and easy, man. We were able to fit 8 racks in one truck and then 8 benches in another, and we were rolled out.
Just put the puzzle together, man. I was highly impressed with the way you stacked up the benches in that truck.
I break every OSHA rule there is every time I
There ain't no safety regulations from
every time
powerlifting.
I move
No,
racks. Every time I move racks, I break every OSHA rule there ever is. I've done some crazy things.
there ain't no OSHA rules in powerlifting,
I know.
man.
Um, so yeah, man, it was a hell of a week. You
Hell of a
know,
week.
a lot of state champions. Let's go through those real quick, man. I think that's a great
Well,
honor for these schools to kind of have that recognition. We might not be worldwide and even statewide yet, but have that recognition of we kind of let everybody know, man, these schools need to be recognized.
yeah, we let them know. Before we go into that, man, just about state. How about the Cajun though, man? I mean, you just can't. Can you get a better venue right
Coach,
now?
it is the best venue we've ever, in my
Ever.
years doing this, it's the best venue we've ever
Hmm.
had.
Hmm.
And I think all could agree on that. That there is no better venue we've lifted in than that.
Hmm.
And you can ask any meet host that's hosted it before.
Yeah, yeah.
It's very very good location. The city of Lafayette rolls out the red carpet for us.
And thank you
You
to
know,
the city of Lafayette for that. If
absolutely.
anybody's listening that knows any of those people, thank you for the city of Lafayette for what you've done
Yes,
for that.
they do tremendous things. Um, the hotels are great there. The atmosphere is great. The city's great. The food's great. Everything's great about the city of Lafayette, and it is by far, par none, the best venue we've ever had. The best location. The best city.
Hmm. Hands down. It's not cramped. I mean, there's plenty of room. I mean, there's a ton of floor space. Everything flows well. You know, I
And
mean, all the way down.
two tremendous meat hosts.
Oh God, could you get any better? You know,
No, I mean you
right?
got two
Not right
great
to date.
you got two great meet hosts. You have um, great help, spotters, loaders. Multiple schools throw in to help. That, Southside, Church Point, y'all helped at Lake Arthur. Karen Crow, the National Guard came and helped. I mean, tremendous spotting and loading. Tremendous help in the whole arena. I know Cage and Prep helped with a lot of stuff as well.
Gage, just great job by the scores tables too. Because I mean, talk about the task of keeping score of the state meet.
Yep,
that's incredible.
The Ralstons do that typically for us every year, and they did another phenomenal job. So it's been it was a great week, and all in that same breath, whew,
it's over.
It's over.
It's over, man. You know what I mean? And for those that don't know, Joe and I are football coaches as well, and I'm a track coach. So, we get done with football and we roll right into powerlifting.
Yeah.
And,
I can see it in my eyes too. I'm like tired. Like I can see.
I'm about to bury myself into girls track, into track. I'm the head girls track coach and continue with the off season. So,
yep, I'm. That's kind of where I'm at, man. We're off season rolling. Let's talk about this week. What you got going on this week, off season wise?
Coach Stuckey key sets, man. Mini maxes. We're gonna look for 5 to 8 reps at 85% on our big movements. We're gonna keep learning the power clean progressions. I don't know if I'm a ton different than a bunch of people, but I teach the cleans way slower than some people. We deadlift for a long time, and then I start teaching the clean pull off the ground and the high pull from the hang, and then we're going to start front squatting after spring break. And I know they're going to hate it because we haven't front squatted very much since I've been there. We touched upon it last year, and the first thing you hear is it makes my wrist hurt, and then you got to teach them how to fight through that and tell them that it's not all your wrist, it's your lats too. And we're going to bring that back up later because our guest is great with the Olympic movements. This guy's a CrossFit coach, but we'll talk about here in a second.
Yeah, I talk all the time with people, and it's just kind of like we're not Olympic lifters, and it takes longer than a 4-year period to get proficient. But I might move it quicker than others. I've tried to slow it down in recent years to where we're not moving so quick. But
you got to get to it.
We get in there and we get after it, man. I mean, we teach them in middle school how to clean, and so we typically have 5 to 7 freshmen that end up cleaning 225 and getting on our board. So this week we'll see what happens. We're doing 1 rep maxes this week. So we start spring break on Friday or Easter break. Good Friday. Always a great time in South Louisiana. Lots of conference bowls going on. But we'll go Good Friday. We got 2 days this week. We'll squat max tomorrow. It's Monday squat day.
Always.
Then we'll go clean and bench on Wednesday. We'll go 1 rep maxes, and we're rolling into spring break, and we come back from spring break and we're on like a 5-3-1, 2 weeks at a time, 5, then 3, then 1, leading us all the way up to our spring game versus Lakeshore this year.
See, we don't do a spring game. We go out and we do a little ball for about a month, and then we get ready for the summer. So,
we have a good time doing it. So
let's talk about those state numbers that we just put together. Some amazing stuff.
Oh yeah. The state championship was a great time this weekend. We'll talk about boys real quick. We'll talk about girls next week on that episode, kind of give the respect of each, but we'll talk about boys real quick. We had 555 total lifters 1 through 5A lift this weekend, or Division 5 through Division 1. 555 total lifters. Alan, I mean, how many squatted over 500?
Grand total of 160 high school kids squatted 500.
So we're reaching about 30% of the state meet squatted 500 or more. Man.
Broken down by classification. So starting in 1A, which be Division 5, 21 kids. In 2A, 20. In 3A, 26. In 4A, 33. And in 5A, 62.
62 kids. My goodness.
That's
more than half the field.
You and Kurt just said it. Even a 400-pound squat for a high school kid, that's good. I mean, that's a legit squat. you know.
Right.
But I mean, 500, that we're starting to move weight for
Oh,
a high school kid, you know.
dude, how many 600?
How many 600? You ready? 36. Put 600 or bigger on their back.
That's still pretty impressive for.
I Coach, I have done a 720-pound box squat at my peak strength, and I felt like a rhinoceros was on my back.
Yeah.
I mean,
So
that's heavy.
this is also someone, we talk about that. We talk about the 500s, the 600s, all that. If you're a follower of Barstool Sports on Instagram, you saw the highest ever squat in the state of Louisiana at the state meet yesterday.
Incredible.
Mr. Dwayne Coleman himself from Salmon High School squatted 900 pounds as an 18-year-old high school kid.
900 pounds. Just think about that. 900 pounds, almost half a ton. Coach, what was insane was his opener at 845.
Broke the composite record.
Broke the composite record. And he almost did a jump squat.
It broke the all-time record for the highest squat. The highest squat before that was only 800 pounds.
Coach, he moved it so fast that when he stood up, he took a step back.
I know.
I know. He straight up took a step back and went, whoo. So then he does it again. He smokes it. And then he comes up, what was it, 875 for his third official attempt.
Yep. And then he went for a fourth composite attempt at 900 pounds.
900 pounds, Coach. That's incredible.
Can you imagine having 900 pounds?
No, I don't want to imagine having 900 pounds.
I mean, 900 pounds is 900 pounds, man. Like,
I don't care.
Like, whew, my goodness. And it's not to take away his total. I mean, a phenomenal total as well. He ended up totaling 2005.
2005. Coach, he broke that on his first deadlift.
I know.
He broke it on his first deadlift.
I know.
It's insane.
It's crazy, isn't it?
Yeah.
I mean,
what did he bench, Coach? I don't remember what he benched.
500.
It was 5. Yeah.
500. Coach.
Think about that, people. 500 pounds in your hands, man. That's
We're talking about a quarter of a ton.
I'm at a quarter of a ton. I mean, I've done a lockout bench in a pin bench workout at 405, and that was incredibly heavy.
Yeah,
from a low pin height.
Yeah, man, it was impressive nonetheless. But we'll touch on the girls just for a split second.
Mm-hmm.
You had a female lifter squat 602.5 this weekend.
602.5. And I've watched her every year get stronger and stronger and stronger. Of course, Kelly and John over at Lutcher, man.
17 straight state champions.
That's the top of the mountain.
State championships.
State championships.
Coach, 17 straight.
17 straight.
I mean, you're reaching the point that this next year and the year after, they will be winning state championships longer than any kid has been alive that they're coaching.
That's exactly, yeah.
Like consecutively. I'm not talking about career-wise because Dwayne Urbina's won a ton of state championships. Mm-hmm. We're talking about consecutive years in a row.
Consecutive, yeah.
I mean,
that's a dynasty, Coach.
Yeah.
That's a dynasty. In women's powerlifting, that's a dynasty in the state.
I mean, Coach, you're talking, 2006, 2007, right around there.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
Coach.
I just can't even
No, I mean that Coach, imagine walking into the meet with that confidence. Like, you tell the kids, hey, stay on top of the mountain. Everybody's lifting for second today. We do what we're supposed to do. Everybody's still lifting for second.
I mean, it's a Lutcher High School and then everyone else.
Yeah, that's it.
It don't matter what division they're in.
Don't care.
They can be in 3A, they can be in 4A, whatever they, because they kind of fluctuate. They're winning. They're winning.
How about the 132 girl that squatted 405? That was legit.
That was.
She absolutely smoked it too.
Yep. A lot of impressive stuff, man.
Yeah,
I mean,
lots of it.
Talk about some state champions real quick. Team state champions. Let's talk about Division 5 real quick. So, same school, Cedar Creek, won boys and girls.
Mm-hmm.
The girls have won 2 or 3 in a row. I can't remember.
Yeah.
But their boys kind of bounced back, and losing the last 2, they bounced back and won this year. They had an opportunity to finish it all off, and they did. And congrats to Cedar Creek High School. You know, you move on to 2A. For girls in 2A.
Was it Darbon Woods or was it Lakeside Christian?
I think it was Darbon Woods, and then North Lake Christian won the boys.
North Lake Christian. Sorry.
Yep. Darbon Woods won the girls. North Lake Christian won the boys. You know, shout out to a very good friend, Tom Beal, winning his first state championship at North Lake Christian. I mean, that was very, very awesome for him. You could see the emotion in him. Actually, one of his assistant coaches before this weekend, Dylan Cook, held the highest squat in the state of Louisiana, 800 pounds, which happened 8 years ago, almost to the day. Moving on to 3A. 3A girls. We're talking the Port Allen Pelicans. You know, they've won, you know.
How many is that, Joe?
10 state championships in the past, I want to say 12, 15 years, somewhere right on there. And they've won a tremendous amount. You know, Coach Reed Bush, our good friend Brian Bizet, kind of started that thing up, retired. Reed Bush finished it out this year. So shout out to them. And then 3A boys, the legends, Eddie Bazeron and Kirk Laverne, you know, the
legends, man.
The dynamic duo right there, man. They
Coach, I was right by. I didn't mean to cut you off. I'm sorry. I was right by them all day. You know, I was chatting because my kids were spotting and loading on that platform, and it was incredible to watch them work, man. They were just chopping numbers down.
Yeah,
and I don't think they just stayed one level.
Oh man, and the
whole time
they're very calm, cool, collected. You know, I was talking to Tony Payne earlier, and he was just saying how, you know, Eddie Bazeron, you talk about one of the most humble people ever. You walk by him, you wouldn't even know the guy has, you know, 20 plus state championships.
Yeah.
I mean, phenomenal guy. 4A, you know, we already talked about the girls in Lutcher, but boys, you got St. Michael's High School who repeated. So that's their back-to-back state championship.
Josh is doing a great job, man.
Josh is doing a good job, man. Josh worked with me for a year over at Denham and then, you know, moved on and doing a really good job at St. Michael's. In 5A, you had West Monroe girls, repeat state champions, Coach Obi Sims. Man, Coach Obi does a great job.
Doing it, man.
He does a really, really good job. And then one of my best friends, man, great friend of me, great mentor, great person, the best ever lifter to come out of the state of Louisiana, Coach Wade Hooper over at Dutchtown, ends up taking the Griffins into the 5A gauntlet and winning the state championship this year.
Coach Wade, and let's talk about this real quick. It's Wade, head coach of St. Paul as well.
Jesse Kellum.
Coach Kellum. You know, I mean, you're talking about two powerlifting legends.
Yeah.
Ever. I mean, at one time, like Wade was what weight class?
Wade was a 148, 165, and 181. So he was kind of on there.
Incredible lifter at those lightweight classes.
I mean, but you're talking about Wade and Ed Cohen were training partners at one point in time.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
So
Jesse Kellum trained at Westside under Coach Lewis Emmons. It's featured in his book.
You can actually see him too in his in Westside versus the World.
I didn't know that. I gotta go. Now I gotta go back and watch it.
Yep. Jesse, you'll see him. There's a meet, and then you see a guy stand up on the bench after completing a bench. That's Jesse.
No kidding.
Yep. Great guy, man. Jesse's a really, really good guy. Yeah. He got in the Hall of Fame this past year, and really great guy. You know, I like him a lot, and just he always treats me right, treats my kids right, treats my family right. So
yeah,
you know, I like him. But yeah, man, that was state championship. How's the kids? How's the wife? How's everything?
Well, I know they're going to be glad that I'll be home more. I know that.
Yeah.
They're great.
You know,
as usual.
Weekends are kind of back. You know, T-ball started for me last week, but we're still getting after it, and wrestling's ending for Annalise. So it's kind of I tell everyone this is kind of the only month I have off is April.
Yeah. That's right.
LSU clinic's coming up though in about a week and a half. So
yeah.
So
well, man, you ready to introduce Chad?
Oh, absolutely, Coach. I can't wait. It's gonna be a great
Man,
episode.
me too, man. This guy's been a good friend of mine for the last 5 years. I worked with him at Sam Houston. Our great guest this week is Chad Coltharp. Chad's the defense coordinator and football strength coach at Sam Houston High School in Mosswealth, Louisiana. He also serves as a strength coach for a variety of other campus sports, such as track, wrestling, soccer, and a whole bunch more. He also is he's a CrossFit coach. Early in the mornings, and I'm excited to chop it up a little bit about the Olympic movements. He is very sharp in that area. Chad's had stops at various high schools in Texas and Louisiana. He threw the hammer at McNeese. He brings a wealth of knowledge in track and football and strength and conditioning, and he's also, man, he brings some juice to the weight room, man. I mean, he's got a ton of energy, and he is exactly what our profession needs. So, without further ado, man, you ready to bring him on?
Absolutely. Let's go.
Okay, man. My guy, what's happening, dude?
What's going on, guys? How are y'all?
Man, glad to have you, man. Glad to have you.
So, another great Sunday.
Another great Sunday, man. Gotta love Sundays.
Absolutely.
Love Sundays. It's about to get back at it. Strength coaches, we start thinking about what we're about to do on Monday. Where are the cones going to go? What's the percent on squat? So
week 11, here we go. At least that's where we are. Week 11. So last week we polished up week 10 with our lift-a-thon. And went ahead and you see my mother-in-law in the background.
There she is.
Went ahead and power clean maxed and squat maxed and bench maxed. So the kids got new percentages, new groups, and did a little weight room rearrangement to kind of mess them up a little bit and see how they're going to respond to something that's different. So it'll be a good Monday for sure.
Good. Now y'all just did lift-a-thon, didn't you?
Yeah, it was
what won it?
Wednesday.
What won it?
A solid, and you lift-a-thon, you got the weight and you got the show.
Oh,
and the weight, the true weight that won it was 350-pound bench press by middle linebacker Keaton Saunier.
Attaboy. Junior middle linebacker.
Junior. He's going to be a senior next year, and he has not graced the powerlifting platform, but I tell you what, he is definitely going to be a part of that next year. No choice.
You're lifted. You have no choice.
Yeah. I mean, God dang.
He can squat and clean the house too, can he?
Now, raw 350 bench. He power cleaned 275 on Thursday, and then he squatted, I want to say it was like 455, 460. He's the only kid that we have in the program that's over 1,000 pounds on 3 lifts.
That's it.
So, I mean, God dang, dude. You big meathead. Let's wrap it.
Let's join a meathead sport.
Yeah, dude. Let's wrap up the knees and put on a suit and see how far you can go.
Yeah, man. Well, I mean, the time that I was there, I remember he was a absolute warrior in the weight room. You got him and Wyatt Fondo just trying to kill each other on a rack.
No doubt. And
Absolutely.
now that Wyatt's gone, he's the next guy, and he's just trying to bring people with him. And God, I've been at Sam Houston for 6 years now, and I feel like these kids that we have now, this senior class coming up is the kids that went through 8th grade COVID. So they missed COVID year of middle school football. And so we got them as freshmen, and they were all just like raw. I mean, like the rawest of raw. They played football 7th grade and didn't play again until they were freshmen, and now they're all going to be seniors. And for this classification of kids that we have at Sam Houston is just built different, and they are all and we're going to have 35 seniors next year.
Sure.
And these guys crush it. They crush the weight room. They crush outside. They crush everything that they do. Every single thing that we ask them to do, they do it, and they do it very well in all sports. And so it's going to be a hell of a year for Sam Houston next year. I really do believe that.
Man, that's awesome. It's always great to have classes like that come through that are just full bought in. No matter what, they're going to stick together. They're going to do the right thing. Then they're going to do it to 100% all the time.
Well, I mean, you always feel like if you have a senior class of that big, we're 5A, but we're a very tiny 5A, and we've never had a class of 30 plus. That means that almost everybody came in as freshmen, stayed for 4 years of football.
Yep.
And that's huge. That's how you build programs, if you can continue that kind of consistency.
Yeah.
So we're pretty fired up about it.
Absolutely. Absolutely. All right. Well, let's get to some meat and potatoes, man. Where are you from? Where's your hometown?
So I guess hometown has to be Crosby, Texas, which is right north, of Baytown, near outside of Houston. I moved around a lot with my mom, and then Dad kind of settled in Crosby, and that's where I ended up graduating from. But I tell my wife, ever since college, I've been in Lake Charles. So I've been in Lake Charles longer than I've been anywhere now. So I think I'm full blown Southwest Louisiana boy. I still don't like spicy food, but it is what it is. I guess I don't know.
We've been through Crosby, man. I love that little town, dude.
God, it's a great town, and they've had some successful football. Played for a state championship a couple years ago. Made it back to the semis and lost. They got some good football over there, and I like to say that it was my senior class that kind of turned that page, back in the gap, because we were rotten for a long time. And then we ended up being, having a lot of success, and then that kind of just kept on going. And I think this past year was the first losing season they'd had in 20 years. So it's a good football town for sure. Good baseball town as well.
Yeah. Well, I remember, me, you, and wasn't it Coach Demon? We went and watched them play Liberty Hill.
Liberty Hill, man. God dang, they beat the hell out of Crosby that year. Well, the year before, they had played Crosby, same thing, semifinal game, and ended up going into overtime. It was like 63-62, whatever it was. Crosby scores, goes up by 7. Liberty Hill scores like 3 plays later in that wing fast, no huddle wing T stuff. And then they went for it on, for the win, went for 2 for the dub and fumbled the football. Here we go. And then
for those that don't know, just look up Liberty Hill. Watch them play football.
Dude, it's unreal football, man. And it was like the quarterback waited to give the worst handoff of his entire career at that moment, and hit him right in the neck with the handoff on that big fullback they had. And then Crosby ended up going to play for a state championship, and then got drummed by Alito. Which, if y'all don't know anything about Alito,
oh yeah,
real deal. That's the real deal, Holyfield.
Yeah.
There's some football over there, man, and Alito's part of it, dude. Not to take anything away from the ball that's being played over here, but Alito can be a different level.
No doubt.
But yeah, you got your few over there that are just at that level that are,
I think
Alito, Duncanville. I mean, you got those few that are just the consistent.
Well, I think Alito this year, this was their ninth state championship. They lead the state of Texas in state championships.
What are they now? Are they 4 or 5A?
They're 5A.
Yeah.
Coach,
they're big 5.
Yeah,
5.
Coach, when I was in high school, they were in 2A. I just remember
unbelievable.
Small little place. I remember just because, Coach, did you do like I used to do? You go home out on Friday and turn on Fox Sports.
Turn it on. Got to turn on Fox Sports Southwest. And you watch all the highlights.
Yeah,
oh, my God. Hours.
God. Go from 5A all the way down to 1A or down to 8-man.
I still do it. You get home, you gotta click on KPLC real quick, and then you flip it over and you watch all the Texas highlights.
Right to it.
And see some absolute units playing football.
Yeah.
So you live in Lake Charles, married?
Live in Lake Charles. Married, 3 kids.
Yeah.
Oof.
Who is right? Goodness.
Man, if you are coaching and you have 3 kids, you better have an absolute dog of a wife to back you up.
Spouse makes the coach, man.
Dude, man, I'm telling you, because they're crazy and it's busy. We got 1 in 3rd, 1 in kindergarten, and 1 is just running the world from his crib sometimes. He's about to be 3. And it's tough. It's tough on them. It's tough on everybody. But
I hope he makes an appearance in the background again.
Oh, he probably he got took away, but we'll bring him back. We'll bring him back. I think he's on his 8th meal today,
Yeah. Steak, taters, and milk, man.
Yeah, we're bulking up right now.
So that topic leads us to the next question, man. How do you and Amanda strike a balance living in a coaching household, man?
God, so it took a long time for me. The biggest thing for me was, I'm a very straight-laced kind of person. Kind of everything needs to be neat and cleaned up, and everything has a place, and kind of OCD tendencies. I would say I have OCD, but OCD tendencies. And number one, you got to let that shit go. You got to let it go, because whenever football season starts, week 1, it is survive. We got to survive. Do we have clothes? Yep. Are they wrinkled? Who cares? We're moving on. We got to roll. And you can never, ever put a price on how awesome it is that, we live in Lake Charles and we have family that lives a mile away. So we get through football season with the help of, parent-in-laws, and that's huge. God, that's huge. But she's a baller. She makes it happen. And we as coaches, we come in, it's been a long day, it's frustrating, whatever that case may be, and you got to have somebody who's going to be there to hold it all together. And homework, all of the stuff. And there's one of them right there. And so and she does a great job at it, and she deals with my shit whenever I'm frustrated. And she's calm down. They're kids. I'm like, yeah, you're right. They're kids. I forget that sometimes.
It's my wife always says in our house, we live in it. The house is gonna look how it is because we live in it, and it's
that's right.
Nothing's ever gonna be perfect, and you just got to roll with it, man. We're blessed enough, just like you, that we got family real close, and that's the only way that it kind of helps us out. Because if we didn't, man, it would be a struggle.
It's struggle, man. It's hard, and that's one of the biggest, long time ago when we got married and we decided that, where we're going to live, because I could have went Texas, I could have coached Louisiana, and you got to ultimately make the sacrifice on is it family or career, and we chose family, which has been an absolute blessing for us and for my kids, because they get to see them. I mean, we're here every Sunday. I'm here right now. We're here every Sunday, and the parent-in-law is showing up to soccer games, and hey, we're going to come pick up the kids and take them to ice cream, and all the small stuff that happens, especially in season, to make it a little bit, normal, if you will, makes it really nice, because they know that daddy's not around a whole lot.
Yeah. It makes those times that you're with them just that much better.
It does.
Ooh, so much better. I mean, you remember you get home and it's like late, and it's like you dropped your kids off and then they're asleep, and you're like, well, I guess I'll see them in the morning. Yeah. When I drop them off again, and you get the time from waking them up, getting them dressed, and dropping them off, and then you don't see them again. And it's tough. It's really, really tough.
Yeah, it's never easy. Like we talked about before on here, sometimes you leave and they're asleep, and you get home and they're asleep.
Yeah.
And man. The little moments you have with them, as much as I didn't want to coach T-ball this year, we're in it just so we can kind of spend that little bit more time, and I can guarantee I'm there all the time, just be around. So I get it, man. I think we all do. So, Coach, tell me, man, playing experience. You played high school, you played college, you played beyond.
Yeah. So I've probably I'm just a regular old guy, dude. I was a 4-sport athlete in high school. I did football, powerlifting, soccer, track. Made it to state in powerlifting. The best I ever did was 6th. And played for a state championship my junior year in football. We lost that. And then I went to, I got an academic scholarship to go to McNeese, and I was like, I could walk on and play ball. Nope, not with old McNeese, not back in the Gap, baby.
Not in them early 2000s, man.
No, sir. They were fresh off of that natty appearance, and you walk around and you looked up like, yeah, this ain't gonna happen. So I walked on and tried track for a little bit. Back in the Gap, the hammer wasn't even a thing, for most colleges, and so I threw it. I fiddled around with it a little bit, did a couple meets, but I want to say it was about I was turning 21, and I was like, look, dude, what you going to do? And I was like, I never heard in Texas, we don't have CCPs. That's not a thing. You got to be an on-staff, fully certified teacher. And when I learned about that, I was like, let's go coach, man. Let's go do that. And so that's when I started coaching. And that was, 18 years ago. So I've been doing that ever since, CSET for the rest of college, and then got my first job, and then everything else we just been rolling ever since.
All right. So where was that? You talk about a little bit.
So, the first thing I wasn't from here, so I didn't know much about Lake Charles. So I got my first CSEP job at Hamilton Christian Academy.
Okay.
Now, back then, little did we know that I would be, get to be around. I didn't coach him, but Jace Peterson was on that team, who was probably the best athlete I have ever seen in my entire life in person. And
pure athlete too.
Just, dude, it doesn't matter if you played. He could probably go out right now and do curling in the Winter Olympics and probably win, and put a team together. He was unbelievable. And so I got to be a part of that. And then whenever I graduated, my first job was in Hardin, Texas, which is like a little 2A school. And my old high school coach actually hired me. Well, then it was like, okay, me and my wife were engaged, or we were going to be engaged soon. And I got a job at Lake Arthur, did that for a year until I got offered a job at my hometown in Crosby, which to me was like a dream job.
Yeah.
Oh, but dude, I went from coaching junior high and high school, you're 2A ball. So you're doing it all, just like Lake Arthur. I mean, you got it all on campus, the whole shebang. And then they're like, hey, you want to just come coach varsity linebackers? Yeah, I do want to just coach varsity linebackers, and so I took that job, and God, it was a great job. We were really good. And then we got married, and I was still in Texas, and it was like, we got to make a choice. And I just so happened, like maybe 5 days before school was supposed to end, I got a job offer at St. Louis Catholic. Okay. And so I was there for a couple years. I had this little brief stint at Westlake, which I don't ever talk about because that was just anyway, it was what it was. And then I went back to St. Louis for 2 more years. And then I've been at Sam Houston for 6. And it's just, I was a bouncer for a little bit there.
Yeah.
And God, Sam Houston's a great place. If I could retire, I'll stay there if they let me.
Yeah, so you never think about venturing out, or that's where we're at. Family,
that's where we
keeps you there, right?
Family keeps you here, man. And me and Alan, we talk a lot, and it's like, where do you go? Where can you coach? And it's like, man, you're at 5A, Sam Houston facilities, kids are good. We got it's like, God, there's nowhere better, in my eyes, and I could be wrong. I have never coached at Barb. Barb might have something going on for them that I don't know about, Venton 2A ball, but once you get to that 5A ball, it's tough. It's tough to make that bounce back down and be like, okay, now I got to mow fields, and now I got to stripe again, and now I got to do this, and now I got to do that,
now I got to
drive a bus. I got to do all the things. And, that's hard. It's hard. Small school coaches, when you're at Lake Arthur, because I was there and I know exactly what Alan goes through coaching there. It's a tough gig. You got to love it. Now, with that being said, it's kind of cool because you get them kids from 7th grade, 6th grade, all the way through, so you get to mold those middle school kids into what you're doing. And the idea would be that you would be very successful. But yeah, I feel like right now this is where we are, and you can't go anywhere else. You're not driving to Lafayette for a job, can't go to Texas, lose your retirement. It's just Lake Charles is what it is, and you hope you find you a good job and you kind of stick it out, kind of find your role,
right,
and what you're going to do.
You're there,
That's pretty
what
much
else do
it.
people do? What else do people do in Lake Charles? You're either going in sales or you're in the plants.
That's it.
Or
That's
you're a nurse.
And
that's what it is.
That's what it is. And there's not much else.
No, not at all.
So
what was that, Joe?
Go ahead, Al.
All right.
So I was gonna ask Coach about, tell me a little bit about like your tree, who's your mentor, where you come from, a little bit of that.
Man, I'm
sure bouncing around a little bit, it's kind of, taking some different roads.
You look at my resume and it's got a lot of different places on it. And, some employers might look at that and be like, God, you've been to a lot of places. And I'm like, yeah. But, being underneath a lot of different head coaches allows you to see things that you really like and things that you really don't like. And so I feel like that's given me the opportunity to actually become a better person and see, there's a lot of people. And I noticed this, Texas is like college. You're a guy that sticks around in one place for a long time is very unheard of. And but down here, a lot of people hang out at the same spots for a very, very long time. And I don't want to say it's you get caught in a rut, but you only learn one thing, one way. Or, maybe you had two head coaches in your lifetime. You learn from two guys. And I'm not saying that's good or that's bad. But if you never have the opportunity to learn from many different people or many different things, I don't feel like that's a lot of growth. And so I do take pride in the fact that I've been to a lot of places and learned from a lot of different people, a lot of successful coaches. And so, when people ask me, stuff like that, who do you I'm like, man, all of them, and then you kind of take all that, you put it together, and then you become who you are. That's how I feel anyways, as a coach. I don't want, you're plucking things from every tree that you can and you're building it up yourself. And then you feel like I am who I am. And then once I become who I am, you either love me or you don't, but this is over the years, all the knowledge that I have accrued. This is the kind of coach that has made me become.
And, right, you get a little bit of what to do, what not to do,
I think so, man. And, obviously some coaches might have a little bit of a bigger influence on you than another guy might. And that's okay too.
Who is that guy? Who's that guy for you?
So my guy for me is I only spent 1 year with him, but Coach Reardon at Crosby was, he's at Chapel Hill now, and Chapel Hill played for a state championship this past year. The year before that, they were in the semis. He never lost more than 8. He always won at least 8 games when he was at Crosby. He has a state championship ring. They played Dayton back in the gap. God, I don't know, 2007, 2009, something like that. Beat Dayton for when he was an offensive coordinator, and the guy was an offensive guy. And I was on defense, but it's just like the way that he approached with the kids, and everything was up tempo and everything's fast and everything is, get the most that you can out of who you have. And he was just a hell of a coach. And the staff that he would bring in, I want to say from our staff that we had back in 2011, he has 1, 2, 3. He had 3 guys from the offensive side have gone on to be head coaches in the state of Texas, and 2 guys on the defensive side. So 5 guys from that staff have gone on to be head coaches in the state of Texas.
That's good.
Yeah, that's pretty damn good. Yeah.
That's what you want, right? You want your assistants to be coordinators, and you want the coordinators to be head coaches. And so that's what he did. And I mean, it's hard to beat, man. That's so hard to beat.
Me and Taurus were sitting talking the other day. I think it was Monday or Tuesday before I left for Lafayette. And we were talking about like coaches that leave and, why they leave, when they leave, what's appropriate time to talk to the boss about when they're going. And he goes, I don't care when you tell me. He goes, if a better opportunity arises for you, I want you to take that job. If it's good for you, if it's good for you as a coach, if it's good for you as a career, if it's good for your family and of course your salary, I'm going to actually be upset with you don't take the job. Take the job.
Right.
Of course, I want you to stay here, because you're, but I also want you to take that job. And I especially want you to stay here if you're being headhunted, because that means I have a good coach.
Right.
Yeah.
No
doubt. Yeah. Absolutely.
Our head coach kind of the same way. He wants people to go get head jobs. It means that, he's got a good one on his hands, but at the same time, like guys that, kind of get, like Alan said, headhunted, he tries to, keep some of those guys around, and we got a good one here and we can make them even better. And then they can spread their wings and move on,
Yeah.
Or it gives them a little bit more responsibility.
So with all that being said, and Chad, we've known each other, like we said, a while, and we coached together for a while. What is your coaching philosophy? And it doesn't have to be weight room, just general football weight room, just coaching philosophy.
So I kind of think of it as it's all about that kid. Mm-hmm. And so I believe that my job is to help every kid that I have reach their maximal potential, whatever that is. That could be in the sport, that could be in life, whatever that is. I need to help. I have 4 years to help these kids reach their maximal potential through nothing less than hard ass work, because nothing's easy. There is nothing easy. These kids, they come in and they complain about this and that. And I'm like, guys, man, I know it's tough right now, but 2 years from now, you're going to look back and go, God, that was really easy back then. So how do we do that? And I think that's our job. I want to produce, help produce the best football players we have, the best track athletes, whatever sport I'm involved in. I want you to be the strongest guy that you've ever been, yada, yada, et cetera, et cetera. But the true potential that you have to be a human being, I think that's the bigger goal. And we always say that. Are you a good person? Did you leave and go on to do good things and to become that, a good father, a good husband, a good worker for whoever picked you up, whatever career you chose? If we did that, then we did it right. Like we succeeded, and that's it. That's our job.
Teaching them how to be coachable too. I mean, but that's in life, teaching them how to, they're going to become workers, fathers, husbands. It's teaching them how to be coachable, learn from lessons and do all that, man. And you're right. That is what it's all about. But in a nutshell,
yeah. And it's got to be both. It's got to be like, hey, put your arm around the kid, man. God dang, you played a great game. Good job. And then I'm in your ass. Are you looking at me? And are you taking all this in and saying, yes, sir, and learning and moving on from this? Because at some point, someone else is going to chew your ass out.
Yeah.
And then what are you going to do? How do you respond to that?
Yeah. I tell them, I tell them, guys, y'all are going to have a boss like me one day. You're going to have, and you're going to have to be able to take it and go right back to work, because I'm cheating you if I don't hold you accountable. I want you to get stronger. I want you to get faster. But like you said, I want you to be a better person too. And I'm cheating you if I don't teach you how to be there, or at least give you the path to follow.
And it's a balance. And y'all know this because we've all been doing this for a while. It's a kid comes in and it's like, hey man, how you doing? What's going on? How's your girlfriend? I checked your grades. Your grades suck. Can we get those up? And all those kind of things. And then, they confide in you, or you have a good conversation or whatever. And then 3 minutes later, it's whistle blown and I am in your butt and I am pushing you until you are about to die in the weight room or outside or a drill, whatever that might be. And then as soon as that's over again, we can be friends, if you will, but it's that balance in between. What kind of personality do you have? Are you able to be that type of person with them, or are you always in their ass? I find that's when kids start to kind of, you got to be able to give them good and bad, chew their ass, make fun of them, do the normal coaching thing. And then you got to love them too.
And you got to know which kids, can take which type of thing, like some of those kids,
exactly.
When they start getting ass chewings, they shut down.
Big time shut down.
That's it. I mean, they can't handle it. It's not good, conducive to winning. It's not conducive to them progressing, none of that. But then you got some kids who can take the ass chewing. We're moving on, they forget about it like a goldfish 5 minutes later, and they're ready coach, I still love you. Good, man. I still love you. Let's keep going.
Mm-hmm. And I think that's the, young coaches, it's, I'm getting to that age now to where it's like, these young coaches that we have, you're becoming the mentor of those guys. And it's like, you got to coach them hard, but you also got to learn when to love them. You got to learn like you said, which ones you can, which ones you can't. Or some of those kids you can call out in front of the whole team, and then all of a sudden they become an all-state football player. Yep. Or the one guy you call out and then
they're quitting.
You ain't got. You're done. Yeah. You're done. Like you ain't got them no more. So that's my biggest. If I know we're not talking about advice for young coaches, but as you get older, it becomes easier for me to figure out those kids. Mm-hmm. The young guys, you got to kind of tell them, hey man, as soon as you figure that out, you're going to be a hell of a coach.
And it's all about, talking about young coaches, like one thing is they need to learn how to take some of that too.
Mm-hmm. I've learned some ass chewings.
Me too. And I've learned, I've learned coming into this, man, like, and being a part of it, I've been coaching for only 12 years now, but some of these guys come in and they're just like, I have all the answers. I know everything. And a little bit of entitlement, just like the kids we deal with. And then we complain about the kids do the same thing, and then we turn around and do the same exact thing. When I say we, I mean they. But right. Teaching them how to handle, for 10 games or 10 weeks out the year, I'm gonna be on your ass, but I'm gonna love you the other 355 days of the year.
Yeah, I mean, and so and that's been kind of like this was my third season as coordinator, and you got to jump their ass just like anybody else, just like a kid. You have to make sure that whatever your defensive game plan is, as far as like how you want to run it, has got to be met. And if a coach gets kind of veers off, you got to bring them back. Mm-hmm. And sometimes you got to have that talk or that ass chewing with a young guy or even some older guys sometimes, and you got to be able to take it. My first year coaching at Hardin, I'll never forget. I messed something up. Who knows? Probably didn't do the laundry right or something. And the coach gave me a permanent marker and said, write your name in the top corner of that whiteboard. And so I put Coltharp, and I said, what's this for? And he goes, that's the gopher board. And I was like, what's the gopher board? Anything I say, you go for it. And I was like, oh my God. So, hey, Coltharp, we need a size 10.5 cleats. Go get it. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
That's a good one.
Dude, the gopher board, man. What was funny is that he hired his son too. His son was my quarterback. He was a junior when I was a senior. Mm-hmm. And in both of our first out of college jobs were together working for his dad. And both of us, permanent marker, gopher board. And it doesn't matter if he asked you or one of the other coaches asked you to go get it. Yeah, who's on the gopher board? You had to go do it. Like, we need towels. And they'd go, huh. Looks like you're on the gopher board. I guess you're getting towels. I was like, I guess I am.
But look, there's young guys out there, man, that can't take that. Like they
wouldn't do it. They wouldn't do it. They quit.
They don't think that they should be doing that type of stuff.
No.
And that's what's crazy. Like, it has nothing to do with, you're less than anyone else. It has everything to do with paying dues.
Well,
and it needs to be done.
Yeah,
I'll tell you
we
this.
Have things to do.
We've been fortunate. Personal experience with who's come through at Sam Houston 5A ball. I believe that to be a successful coach, all the other stuff, out of it, you need to start at the bottom tier. And that bottom tier is like middle school ball, freshman only assistant, whatever that might be, and then work your way up.
Mm-hmm.
And so we got a coach on staff that was his starting path, middle school ball only. And he kind of worked his way up, and he was ready to be a varsity guy, to kind of help out. And we got him in. And it's like, so here's a guy who did it the correct way. And then you get a guy who his first job right out of college is 5A assistant football coach, doesn't know shit about anything, and you got to coach him up. Now, we've been fortunate enough that in the past 6 years, we've had a couple guys come through. Their first job was a 5A football assistant, and out of maybe 3 or 4 of them, one of them has made it and has stuck it out, and he is a hell of a coach. I'm talking about Keller. You know what I'm talking about.
I was about to say that kid can go.
This dude
flat out coach,
he played football. He played football and he played at McNeese, played baseball and football at McNeese, and
ran the weight room too for the baseball team.
When he showed up on day one, it was like, yes, sir. And then, dude, when I tell you I leaned, I mean, you got a kid, he's like mid-20s. I forget how old he is, maybe 25, 26. And he was my secondary guy. And then the guy that I was talking about, the guy that we got in, it was like his first or second year, worked his way up through middle school at Little Cypress, Mauriceville, and he's on staff. And it was them two in the secondary. And them two guys together worked their asses off and did, God, they're a hell of a job. Man, great young coaches, and they are going to be so successful because they could do all that. They could take the ass chewings. They figured it out. They work hard. They do all the things. They're always locked in. But other young coaches we've had, man, they just can't do it. Cannot do it.
Yeah.
And that's okay. That just means that it's probably not for you.
Yep.
Yeah. And that's okay too.
Do something else. That's okay. Go do something else.
Yeah.
That's okay.
There's a bunch of jobs out there, man. There's a
ton of jobs.
In this sport too, but you know what? You might not, you won't win.
You will not win.
No, you won't win.
And it's going to be a shitty, it's going to be a terrible environment for you in that office when everybody knows that you think you know everything and you don't know how to work.
Yep. It is.
You're going to get ready.
You got the best culture in the world, or you got the best players in the world, and when you have something like that go on, it's a recipe for disaster.
Especially when everybody else is pulling their weight too.
No doubt.
But
I tell you what, we've been very fortunate. We have had some freaking coaches at Sam Houston. Mm-hmm. And Alan, you know this. We are not winning ball games because we have athletes.
No, not in that district.
We are coaching our butts off, and we are working 7 days a week until we lose the last game of the season. And I think that I feel very blessed that we don't have all the trophies and all the stuff that everybody else has, but I will take the staff that we have against anybody in the state of Louisiana, hands down, that we put it in, and we're going to put those kids in position to win. Now, your gym might beat our Joe, but hey, the X's and O's are going to be flowing, baby. We're going to have it.
Yeah, that's right. Well, before we move any farther, Joe, are we still on an hour limit on IG?
Yeah, that's what I was just about to say too. We've got about 1 minute and 20 seconds, and then it's going to stop, but we're going to start it right back up. So for those listening on Instagram, it'll stop for just a few minutes. We'll still be live on YouTube, but it'll start right back up after that. We'll get it back up kicking.
Yeah, we're going to keep rolling, Chad.
Yeah.
Somebody asked me like when they first came in, and what's it like to coach in that district over there? I said, well, it's like everything's on fire, but you're supposed to act like it's fine. It's just like everything's on fire. Everything's on fire. It's like, how do we stop Acadiana? It's just like, well, you don't.
That's how I see. And y'all do have a really, really good district, but I'm partial to ours.
Coach,
as well.
Y'all got one over
now.
there.
Not this one is real good that we're in, but it was the previous one that was real good when it was, Zachary, Scotlandville. Central Baton Rouge, Denham, Live, Walker. No, now that's the one we're in now. And then, even years before that, it was Zachary, Scotlandville, Catholic High, Central, Denham, Walker. Like that's what it was. But now we're in the district where it's Denham, Live Oak, Walker, EA, Santa Monica, Dutchtown, and then Prairieville will be in now.
Yeah.
The new school that's coming
We
in.
get to get a piece of we play EA this year, pre-district. So I'm looking forward to that. I think that's going to be – we got a hell of a pre-district schedule, and I'm fired up. You know, we got EA and Turley's Catholic on the schedule, and there ain't nothing easy. Nothing's ever easy now, you know.
No.
But it don't matter. You still got to stop the veer at some point.
When the green and gold beer machine gets running, man. So it's so Joe, you're in the SEC East, and Chad, y'all are in the SEC West.
SEC West is what it feels like.
That, you know. I mean,
well,
like,
I'll tell you this.
What's up?
I'll tell you this. You talk about, you know, stopping the veer. Nobody stopped it. Catholic High didn't stop it in the state. They just scored more points than
they just scored more points.
Nobody can stop. Nobody has stopped the green and gold yet.
Yeah, Joe, shout out to Coach Shelton over there at Catholic, man. That's the first time that I have seen Acadiana get knocked off the ball. Like, absolutely knocked off the ball.
You know what's crazy to me, too? Like, he was telling me this year that this was, you know, a very, very young O-line, and, you know, there was a lot of stuff that they had to adjust to do. And, man, they were pretty dang good.
Coach, I was sitting in the end zone watching, going, are y'all like Taurus? Are you seeing this? I mean, they are taking that kid going to Alabama and going that way with him.
Unreal. Absolutely unreal.
All right, so
we are back live on Instagram, by the way.
We're good.
Yep.
Awesome.
It took me a little bit longer than expected. We're good.
Chad, so tell us about the weight room for you over there, man. What's how? Of course, it's important. You know, you're a strength coach, but just give us a rundown, man. Philosophy. You know, what do you place more emphasis on? Give it to us, man.
I don't know if I am. I'm definitely not the most qualified guy to ever run a weight room, and I'm probably not the typical, you know, weight room guy. Even though I'm supposed to be younger or whatever you might be. But I guess the philosophy for me is put heavy stuff on the bar. I almost said a cuss word, but I didn't. Put heavy stuff on the bar, move it, and we're going to get better. And that's it. And that's the bottom line. And that's how it's going to be. Now, I do like the Olympic lift, and we're going to do some form of a clean or whatever it might be at least 3 times a week. Because I feel like being really explosive and good at hang clean, power clean, squat clean. We got away from snatch. We'll still do snatch type pulls and stuff. But I started implementing a close grip snatch, which has really been good for explosion and keeping, you know, pressure off the shoulders and that big external rotation where a lot of injuries can happen. And I just really noticed that our explosiveness has gone up. And that's it, man. What are we doing? We got to get strong. How are we going to get strong? You put metal on the bar and you move it. And that's it. And there ain't no, you know, and then we go outside and we do the lateral movements, and we'll throw some stuff in there to, you know, to bust them up a little bit mentally and all that kind of stuff. But dude, keep it simple. It's bench, it's squat, it's power clean, and then some sort of variation of those 3 lifts. And we're going to do that all the way to football season. And then when we get to football season, we're going to do it all over again 3 times a week. And that's been, I thought was huge for us last year, is that we lifted 3 times a week in season. Mm-hmm. And I felt like our kids were better prepared.
Mm-hmm. So you're just like us, man. We're going to sprint. We're going to jump. We're going to change direction. We're going to pull. We're going to press. You know, we're going to hinge. We're going to throw something. You know, every day, Big 6.
Yep.
That's good.
I just, you know, I feel like we bench press twice a week. We are back squatting or box squatting. When we box squat, the kids hate it because every time we box squat, you know, we're loading up 100%. You know, we're trying to like bury the kids, but can't do it. Can't bury them, man. These kids work hard and they do a hell of a job doing everything that we ask them to do in that weight room. And I've noticed a lot of big gains, more so this year than last year. I feel like this is like a kind of a new approach, and we've talked about it before, getting away from your big time hypertrophy sets of, sets of 10 to 8 at the beginning. And we have never we never go above 5. And it might be 3 sets of 5. It might be 5 sets of 2. It could be, 5 sets of 1, whatever it might be. But that percentage stays in that 70 to 90 percentile range. Mm-hmm. And it has paid off in dividends. And I wish I'd have started doing this shit a long time ago.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And I feel a lot better about it now than I ever have.
That's what the same concept, man. About a year or two ago, that's kind of what I shifted to, that less is more. We're going, 5x3s, or we're going 4x1s, or, whatever it is. And the kids are fresher, they're stronger, they're more explosive. It's just shooting through the roof. Some of the things that these kids are doing, we have 1 rep maxes this week.
Yeah.
And because I'm still a believer in it,
right.
Nothing against the 3 rep max or anything like that, but just, I'm a believer in where fight or flight, that sympathetic nervous system, they get underneath the bar, what's going to happen,
Yep.
Sink or swim. And I'm hoping tomorrow we'll have a few guys, it doesn't really matter on the field, it's arguably, but it matters to who's the baddest dog in the room is, we'll have a few guys squat that 500 range that are real young. We have a sophomore that's probably going to squat 500 tomorrow.
Damn.
That's legit.
But he's just, he's a dude, man, and he's a young one. He was 13 as a freshman.
Go.
And he ended up starting as a 14-year-old sophomore this year, 5A football for 10 games.
Mm-hmm.
But what just position? Like D-line.
D-line.
And dude, he's gained a tremendous amount of weight from Thanksgiving break to now. He's put on 36 pounds.
Go.
But he looks great, but he's just hitting puberty, man. That's what he was missing out on. He was so young. He was 13.
Best PE deal on the market's puberty.
Think about it. Alan, Will's what, 11, 10?
9.
9. Okay. Annalise is 10. This kid was 3 years older than my kid, and he's playing high school football. Disservice to him, but I agree with you, Coach. Just let's put weight on the bar and let's go. That's why, a few people don't like it. We have our 225 clean board, but when we get to 70, 80%, I let the kids, if they feel good, you can try it.
That's all the time. Coach, I know my percentage says it is this, but man, I'm crushing it.
Feel good.
Go up.
That's the only now squat and bench is a little bit different. We do I do what I call a floated max. If we get to our 80, 90%, we'll float it up if they hit all their reps. But it's an honesty system. They got to come tell us. You can't watch every kid in there. But when it comes to clean, man, there was a week, 2 or 3 weeks ago, maybe we had 8 kids hit it in that one workout because they're just feeding off each other. One kid hits it, another kid hits it, another kid, boom. And it's just, this week, I kind of tell them that we get to 48, you're a quarterfinals team.
Yeah, no doubt.
So in 22, we had 51 kids hit it.
Damn.
And this year, right now where we sit, we're at 35.
Nice.
So I'm in the same thing, man. Same boat with you, man. I 1000% agree. Let's put
and then I think you gotta. And then also at the same time, we like you said, you're telling the kids, hey, I need you to be here today. And I always have the conversation with them. I think every now and then you have to say, hey, look, we're going heavy squat today at 85%. If it ain't looking good, you got to take some weight off.
Yep.
You got to be smart. Because, hey, that's 85% of your 100%, and you ain't 100 every day.
No.
So if you got it, go get it. And if you don't have it, take 15, 20 pounds off and make sure we're still moving really good.
Yeah.
Moving fast.
And we've been doing this now I started doing this type of weightlifting in the summertime, and we had – I'm not saying it. I'm attributing to this. We only had 1 injury during football season.
But it is, man, because I'll tell you this. Same thing over here. Same exact thing.
Dude, I'm telling you.
We went to the same model in 2022, and 183 kids, we only had 3 season-ending injuries. And only one of them was in-game. The other 2 were non-contact. One was incoming freshman. One was a freshman. just wasn't paying attention during stretch. I don't know how he did it to this day, but fractured fib.
That's all you got to say as a freshman.
Yeah.
It's a freshman.
One kid preseason, brand new turf, got a cleat caught, tore ACL, and then one kid was a true in game, got rolled up on. Liz Frank broke his foot, done for the year. But that was it.
I think the only thing I could remember is we had two kids with a collarbone. One of them was going down on kickoff, and one of them was in a warm up because this dummy jumped up for a football like he was Odell Beckham in warm ups and came down on it and broke his collarbone. Two collarbones. No ACLs, no MCLs, none of that. Yeah. It's just
this year we had we had a few collarbones from like last spring through the season, through the summer. And I don't really know what it was from. I tried figuring out. I don't know if it was because, did we build up the shoulder so much that there was nowhere else to go? We're not separating shoulders. We're now breaking collarbones. Yeah. Or was it because last year we got brand new turf? Was it we're on the turf for the first time, we're hitting the ground a lot more, and we're not used to how this turf was. I mean, I don't know, but I mean, we ended up having 3 collarbones from spring through to the season.
Yeah. Coach, sometimes injuries just come in rashes. You hate to just discount it that way, but I mean, just sometimes there's just that year where it's like knee after knee.
It's shoulder after shoulder. Yeah. One of them, a kid, we were in 7-on-7, a kid pushing from behind. He went to go brace himself and broke his collarbone.
In 7-on-7?
Yeah.
I hate 7-on-7.
We should have been on last week.
Yeah, you should have been on last week.
Man.
All right, so let's veer off the question a little bit. Let's ask Chad, what's your thought on 7-on-7? Go ahead, hit us with it.
Go.
7-on-7 does not stop the veer. That's what I know for sure. And
it doesn't stop that roll and start.
No, it doesn't.
No,
but
it doesn't.
Dude,
false start.
You know what it is? This is a perfect example of me and an old buddy that I graduated with talking about the difference in kids and, what we played and this. And I told him, I said, I still feel like high school football culturally is still untainted. 7-on-7 is starting to taint high school football.
It is.
Because now kids are like, oh, come play for the LC Elite Super Gators and all this stuff, and they're wearing ski goggles and all this crap, and you're like, what are you doing?
I still don't understand the ski mask thing.
That causes all that stuff that whoever's in charge of those 7-on-7 groups is allowing to happen transfers to flags on Friday night because you can't score a touchdown and give the ball back to the ref.
Yeah.
Everything's a show. And and all that stuff. That's ruining the culture.
I've never heard of a 7-on-7, I guess their tournaments not ending in some type of confrontation either.
No,
it's just
hate it. Now, if your high school if Denham Springs wants to come over and throw the ball around with us, you're going to see our defense and you're going to see our offense and nothing else. And I think that's okay. But all these tournament stuff with these teams that are mixtures of all these kids and just like no coaching and just all this crap and, look at my drip and everything else. Can't do it. I will never, ever, ever, ever be a fan of it. But the Sam Houston Broncos can go play a little 7-on-7 and might get something out of it.
Yeah, I mean, we're in a league with teams in our district and surrounding area teams. And, I like that. Because more so for our defensive backs, because we're learning our coverages, we're learning how to cover.
No doubt, yeah.
I like that part of it. Everything else, especially as an offensive coach, is not realistic. The running back, we waste them. I mean, we're not. How many times are we getting 5 wide? How many times are we, our running backs a check down? We're not throwing to them. How many times do you hit a wheel to a running back?
No doubt,
right?
Back in the gap, I'd gone do 7-on-7 against, we tried to do something in Lake Charles kind of go. And when I was OC at St. Louis Catholic, and you see a guy come out and he's got quads right, a single receiver to the left. And I'm like, hey, man, aren't you in the eye? Yeah. What are you doing? It's 7-on-7. Yeah, but you're not going to do this in season. You're in the eye.
It wastes time.
So run the eye. You're wasting my time and your time.
Yep.
Yeah. And you're wasting your
kids. Stupid. It's stupid. stupid. Get rid of all of it.
Oh,
Let's just do let's just skip 7 on 7. Let's just do inside. We'll just do inside hole.
I agree.
Let's line
I agree.
up. Put the pads on. Which shell or full?
All
I
right.
don't care.
Let's pick up, guys. Let's go. Hurry up. So, yeah, man. Let me ask you this, man. Your structure, your team's expectations, procedures, discipline. You can talk both defensively as a coordinator and in the weight room. Like, how does that look? You've talked a little bit about it, but like, how's everything fall into place?
So, for us, I think the big thing is, I said earlier, at Sam Houston, it's all about, it comes down to how much can we get out of those kids because we don't have the best athletes. And so it's going to end up for us being a big mindset thing on how much of a dog are you? Can we be fast and physical and gross and be 100% when you're supposed to be 100%, in between the whistles and being aggressive and all that kind of stuff. So when we attack the weight room, we got to be aggressive and fast. And if it's not, it'd be like, hey, Coach Davis, our head coach, you ready to start this thing all over again? Oh yeah, let's start it all over again. Screw this. It's got to be a fast, nasty mentality 100% of the time. And we have to develop that type of identity with our kids. And if not, then we're not going to have success. When I'm talking, you listen. And then whenever I blow the whistle and say go, it is go time unless you hear another whistle to make you stop and listen again. Other than that, it's on you. We're in the weight room and I want you to go. You know what you're doing. Go. Yeah. When we go outside on the football field, it's the same thing. You go in between the whistles. And I think that's the biggest thing for us. It's a structure, but also it's on the kids to have a mentality and a physicality and a want to, that we have to let them kind of go until we tell them to stop and focus again. Mm-hmm. It's shit. Start all over again and make it better.
Yep. And you mentioned it, talking about the weight room, some guys, and I just don't agree with this. Like, I don't know if you're, I got a pretty good feel that you're not, but some guys that go on the whistle for every rep in the weight room.
I hate it.
Ooh, no.
I hate it, man.
I hate it.
Give the kids some responsibility, right?
Yeah.
And like you just said, when you blow the whistle and it's time to go, let's go. Like, we're not wasting time. We're not sitting around. We're not, kumbaya-ing. We're not doing all that. Like, there might be a message at the beginning and how we're going to do things today and what the expectation of the workout is. But when it's go time, like, the testosterone's flowing, man. Like, and when those workouts are good and you got the kids and, like I was saying a few weeks ago, like, you put a little bit of that, early 2000s System of the Down on and you're rolling and the speakers are blaring and it's a great squat day. Some of my favorite workouts we have are the 6 a.m. We got an hour to get this lift in before school. We're squatting. We're RDL is a main lift for me. So we got some RDLs. We're going outside. We might jump a little. Let's go, man. And that's when the whistle blows, we're balls to the wall.
Hey, 2 claps and a Ric Flair, baby. Yeah, and it's go time. And we ain't stopping. And, the music might still be blaring. And it's like, blow the whistle. Can everybody hear me? Yes, sir. Move on. Blow the whistle again. 3 claps. Let's roll. And just don't stop. If the juice is going, if the kids are feeling it, and you can feel the atmosphere.
Oh, yeah.
Don't stop it. Don't stop it.
Let
them
never
go.
Don't stop it.
Let the kids control. Let the kids control the weight room.
It's hard sometimes to like 2 weeks ago we got 2 weeks ago we got to 90 because we're a week ahead. We're at week 12 right here. But 2 weeks ago we got to 90, and then last week being gone most of the week was kind of like a deload. We only had 2 workouts, but we're only working up to 70 to be a little bit fresher for this week. But when we hit that 90, man, kids were like, Coach, I'm ready. I'm like, more. Like, we got to do more. And I'm like, guys, what you're not realizing is you're maxing right now because you're going off a floated number. Yeah. Like, you've already exceeded the last max. Like, wait for 2 weeks and really see what we can hit,
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And so, like, sometimes it is. Yeah, it is. It is hard to stop them sometimes because, and, Coach, we talked about this a few weeks ago, but one of the harder things is, like, social media today, like, they see some of this stuff on there and it's like, well, why don't we do that? Like, why don't we? because, man, standing on a Bosa ball, catching a different colored rod with night vision goggles on isn't going to do anything on Friday night, man. Like, that's
There's this guy I follow, and he's like, he's a big baseball guy, and all of his stuff.
I know
like,
who you're talking about. It's
pitching
hilarious.
coaches be like, and he's like,
yes.
it doesn't make any sense. It makes zero sense, and a lot of the stuff on social media makes no sense.
With the PVC pipes and the water bags and
catching drills in 2024.
Well,
he throws a garbage can full of
it's so bad because they're like, well, why don't we do this? Why? Because it's stupid. That's why.
It's dumb.
Well, I had a girl, sweet girl. She's so nice. Come up to me maybe like a month ago in my athletic P class, soccer player, and said, Coach, when are we going to start doing some soccer type lifting? I was like, you mean like squat and bench and power clean? And she's like, no, like weight moving for soccer. Like, it's like squat and bench and power clean. What are you asking? She's like, like stuff with cones. I was like, oh, you mean like soccer drills? Yeah, that's for practice. We're going to do squat and bench and power clean up here.
Our girls' basketball team and our girls' football team, there's not much variation. Like, I vary it very little, man. Like, it's still a physical sport and it's still a long season. So very little do we tread away from the path.
I'm a little disappointed you didn't end that with you went and got a soccer ball and put it on the squat rack.
Oh, that'd be hilarious. That would have been like.
Now you're doing soccer specific, baby. Go ahead. 5,
what
6,
is it?
3,
You do like you lay it all out like your workout in like sports specific lifting, and it just says insert sport, and the workout's exactly the same for every single sport.
Coach, so okay, one of my good friends, he's on our staff. Was a baseball coach at Live Oak for years. And, the head coach is at another school now. But when they were at Live Oak, they called up Tommy Moffitt about like, hey, we're looking to revamp the weight room. How are we going to do this? And so he sent him a workout book. And it said LSU football, and it had X over football and said baseball. and they called him back, and they're like, Coach, we meant football. He's like, nope, same workout. That's it.
Same workout. That's it. It's just
proceed, sir.
Yeah. So it's just
don't overcomplicate it, man. Yeah. It's all the same.
Keep it simple, man. It is. It's not. They're high school kids. Whatever you do with them, they're going to get better and stronger and faster. And
no doubt.
Mike Robinson said you can do jump rope and wrist curls, and they'll get better.
Yep.
They'll get better. We all know Coach Rob. Great.
Oh, yeah.
So give us your opinion on the current state of not just football, but just athletics in general, high school, college. Just tell us about it. Topics like youth sports, travel ball, all the general things that can be controversial. Or just,
we're in a bind.
Okay.
We're kind of in a, like, it's becoming like it's social media's fault and sports specific fault that, we're starting to, this has been happening for several years now. We're starting to lose athletes. They're turning into ex players. Like this is it. Now we're fortunate. Football, we have athletes. We have guys that play multiple sports for the most part. But, there's a lot of people and a lot of people. You won't be successful in X sport unless you just play that sport year round.
Yep.
12 months. And I'm like, okay, that's not true, but continue. And then it's like, oh, X athlete got hurt because he's been throwing a baseball for 12 months straight, and he's got to have Tommy Johns. I'm just using that as an example. But man, we're losing true athletes, and all these kids going sports specific because they think that's the way for them to get noticed. It's so wrong. I mean, how many times do they have to come out with the infographics of successful NFL football players or baseball players or whatever that played multiple sports in high school for these kids to understand you don't have to specialize. So then you take that aspect, and then we all know that the 7-on-7 U trip, AAU,
Jose
Coach,
Canseco World Series.
Coach, I can't make it to summer workouts because I have basketball. I'm like, basketball's in like 6 months, man. Like, when are you ever going to work out? Never?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. That's why you're going to get injured, or you're never going to touch the field in any of your sports.
Yep.
You know,
not winning a state championship in basketball and baseball in June.
No, dude, come on, man. Hey,
just like we're not winning a state championship in football in January. Like,
no, and I get it. Hey, look, if you come at 8:00 on a Monday during the summertime and you go lift weights and do your thing with football, and then say, I'm going to go to the batting cages, and then I'm going to go shoot hoops. Yeah, do that. We all did that. We all worked out and then went and shot hoops and played other sports and did all the things. But when it's your time, focus. It's that time. It's football right now. You know?
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, I'll never forget. I had a kid. This just happened a couple of days ago. He said, I had a freshman say, hey, are you going to try out for cross country? And the sophomore kid goes, you can't do cross country during football season. And he said, really? He goes, yeah. I remember one time I asked a coach, hey, can I go to cross country practice? And he looked at me and he said, well, get your ass out on that football field. And I looked at him. I said, it was me, wasn't it? He goes, yes, sir. It was you, Coach Coltharp.
It was you.
When it's that time, it's that time. Stay focused on the one thing at a time and then move on. And I guarantee you that you're going to be better for it.
But I agree, you can do it right after, man. Like it's summertime, like you said, y'all's facilities are set up kind of like ours, where everything's on campus. You can go to football. You can do your football obligations this summer. You can go hit for an hour, and you're still done at 9, 10 a.m. Like
you can,
you can go shoot afterwards. You can go,
And I'm not saying it. I don't want it to sound like just because I'm the football guy that I want you there. But when it's summertime, we're not prepping you just for football. We're prepping you to become a better athlete by lifting and running and conditioning.
And that's how I set up my workouts like that.
If you're missing that because you need to go shoot 3-point shots for an hour, you're not getting better. No. You're not becoming a better athlete.
You're making your money in the summertime. That's where all sports.
Everybody's
all sports.
And like
go ahead, Joe.
Go ahead, Al.
No, what I love about where I'm at, our kids do everything. I've said that. They get done with my workouts and they go to the gym. And they play in a league amongst the other schools. It's a summer league basketball, but they understand that they're not going to miss their football workout, and so I'm watching them all summer and making sure that they still got juice whenever they come to me. And Coach, I've never felt better on the court. Imagine that, you're stronger. Weird how it works, isn't it?
And I was
shocker.
I was literally about to say the same thing. Like we play in a summer baseball and basketball league, but I'm pretty blessed that these coaches value the weight room. Mm-hmm. They want them to be in there. Like an example for you, like my girls' athletic basketball hour is the same as freshman football. They come in there and work out with them, and then the last 35 minutes, we're on block hour and a half. The last 35 minutes, they go to basketball.
Good for them.
We're lifting for an hour, 3 days a week.
Yeah, there it is.
Nice.
And that's how it is with all of our sports here. And it took time, but it's a blessing to have that. I know not everybody has that.
Not at all.
But it's a blessing that the culture of that is starting to change, and we're still in the infancy of that, but it's awesome to see. So, Coach, I want to ask you, okay, this is something we like to do. I don't know how many episodes you've watched, but a few rapid fire questions.
That's
all right.
I love it.
These are like, I don't know, man, random, off the wall. You never know what you're gonna get.
Okay.
All right.
Shit.
This is always my favorite one for guys. You guys in Southwest Louisiana or Southeast Louisiana, Southwest. I'm sorry. You walk into Daryl's. What's your order?
Oh, dude, I'm a barbecue brisket guy. Barbecue brisket and cheese, man. I know everybody says, "Oh, it's got to be the special with the jalapeno mayonnaise and barbecue brisket." That's me.
That's a good one.
I've never had it.
Dude, it's good.
So good. It's so
Next time I'm in Lake Charles, if I go down for baseball or softball in Sulphur, I'm going to have to go.
Yeah,
go do it. You're going to have to.
Yeah, I never had it. Gatorade, Powerade. All the same, but Gatorade, Powerade.
Gatorade 0.
I like the little. Have y'all had the little energy Gator Lights, or not Gator Light, but the little energy ones, like the Gator Energized? Those aren't bad, man. They keep me away from the carbonated major sodium. Well, you say you don't eat spicy, but crawfish, soak them, soak them, dust them. You probably don't eat spicy.
No dust. If you dust, you're in Texas.
You're in Texas, yeah.
We've talked about this and kind of. I watched a video on like true dusting. I don't dust, but like it's the way they made it seem is it's like soaking. You're supposed to dust and then wait for like 30 minutes and let it. So I don't know the validity of it. Crawfish is $700 a sack right now. So
no doubt. Well, to me, it's like if you're dusting it, all you're doing is making your hands spicier whenever you peel the crawfish.
Yeah,
just soak them up, babe.
I went to school in Arkansas, and they used to have a crawfish bowl every year for the whole campus, like 2,500 pounds of crawfish, and they would dust them. And it was all of us South Louisiana guys would just be like, "What the hell are we doing here? Like this is stupid. This is stupid." All right, you travel far this way. You travel more our way in the east side of the state. Stopping at Billy's. What are we getting? Billy's Boudin. Coach, Billy's?
I've never been to Billy's, man.
Oh, I went this morning for breakfast. I was in Lafayette, and I was like, I am not leaving Scott, Louisiana without stopping to get 2 Boudin egg rolls. Let's roll. All right, well, then let me change the question. You're going on a road trip. What's the go-to snack, meal, drink?
Man, I tell you what, and everybody's going to probably laugh, but usually when we're road tripping, it's with the family, and it's heading I-10 east, and we 100% are stopping at Chick-fil-A past Lafayette every single trip we take, unless it's a Sunday. Every time.
Yeah.
I don't know why. That's our spot, and then we roll all the way. And then if we get into Mississippi, we're going to stop for barbecue at the Shed.
The Shed. Yeah, we go we go on a coach's trip every year to the beach, and that's our midway stop is the Shed. We all stop and eat.
So
are you a Buc-ee's guy when you go back home?
Oh, dude, if you go into Texas and you don't go to Buc-ee's, you're a
What are you doing? Would you just see that we drove by that? Go stop, turn around.
Well, when we went to Dallas this past January for a coach's trip, we stopped at Buc-ee's 2 times at 2 different Buc-ee's on the way up there.
Yeah, you got to do that. What do you?
I like the smaller Buc-ee's too. Like some of the ones
that are just
it's like
in and out.
Yeah.
In and out.
We went to Austin back in 2019, and we stopped at a smaller one along the way, and it was just like, man, that was easy. Like it's not the Baytown one where it's like 1,000 people in there.
No doubt.
No. They got that big one outside of it's just south of Brenham in McKinley or something like that. It's just as big. It's giant.
Yeah.
So, all right.
You got a few for?
I got a few for him, man. All right, you go to Whataburger. What you getting, cuz? I already know because we're taking Whataburger.
Double cheeseburger, double cheese, grilled onions, lettuce, ketchup, mustard on Texas toast every time. No questions asked. Don't even look at it. Don't even look at something else.
All right, that sounds great.
Oh, Coach, it's incredible. All right, let me expand. Whataburger or Dairy Queen? Both Texas places.
Whataburger. All the way.
I got you.
Screw that ice cream. I'm going for a straight double cheeseburger on Texas.
Right. I don't even like sweets. I'd rather food.
No doubt.
All right. HEB or Kroger's? Speaking of Texas.
Heb.
Got to go to the Heb, man. Got to go.
Heb, dude. If we had a Heb, if the Heb in Orange was a super Heb, I'd drive to Orange and go shopping every single weekend.
All the time.
Yeah. The closest good HEB is in Barbers Hill, Texas, and that is the Mecca. It's Coach, so awesome.
I'm going to disagree with you on that, Joe. That HEB that we went to in Austin, whenever the kids lifted, that right there.
I was just about to bring it up.
Mecca.
That
was a grocery store.
Unreal. Like I've been to a lot of HEB because I grew up in Texas too, Coach. I grew up in right outside of Killeen in Coppers Cove.
Okay.
And your mom was from Beaumont.
My mom's from Beaumont, yeah. So I've been to a few HEBs in my life, but that one was ungodly. how like I'm just in there like, and I'm overwhelmed. I'm like, I don't even know what to do. It's 9:00 at night, and they're still fresh baking bread. What are we doing? Right
They're
now?
making tortillas over there.
Yeah,
Coach, how many times did we get lost? We had to like call each other, be like, "Hey, where are you at?" Man, I think I'm in the northern quadrant of this place. Yeah,
That's funny.
The only thing, so my wife really hadn't been outside of Louisiana a bunch. So I remember the first few times, and this happened while we were there in Austin. Is she's not used to like gas stations or like grocery stores like HEB not selling like liquor.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. She's like, well, what do you mean they don't sell liquor? I'm like, it's just not like this ain't Louisiana, babe. Like they just don't have like there's not a gas station at the front of your neighborhood that sells, crawfish, a daiquiri, and then you can get a handle of Tito's. Like it's not. This is Louisiana, and then the rest of the world. Like
correct, absolutely.
That's exactly right. All right, so you're breaking down film, laptop or iPad?
Oh, laptop connected to the big screen.
Connected to the big screen. Music
Gotta
on
have
ESPN on
Dude.
Just for background noise.
We are freaking jamming out in my office, listening,
100%.
watching film, and absolutely dog cussing everybody.
Everybody.
Film.
What is he bleeping doing?
What is that ref doing? I mean, God dang. Dude, we are cussing. Everybody's getting cussed out. It's early in the morning. Ooh, baby. I love
you work your kids out on Saturday? Are y'all coming on Saturday or Sunday night to work out?
No, we don't. We don't bring them in.
You don't bring them in?
We don't bring them in. Now, we lift on game day.
Okay.
Now I say we. The defense lifts on game day, and a couple of offensive guys will come up there. I don't make them do that because that's not my place. But as a defensive staff, we go up there and we get it cranked up and we get a pump, and all the coaches work out with the kids too. So we all get it in with them, man, and it's a good time. And I feel like it kind of gets the juices flowing. It gets that kind of like, hey, we ready. We're slapping everybody. We're just kind of getting pumped up, and everybody's like curling and doing some cleans and shit. And
a lot more buy-in.
We love it.
Probably a lot more buy-in with the kids too. Like, hey, let's go.
Well, I mean, you lay around for a couple hours, and you're like, all right, lights on, get tape. And like,
I hate it.
Nah, let's turn some music on. Let's get loose.
Yeah.
And we get it going. So it's pretty fun.
That's awesome.
That's it. Well, that's it, man. That's all I got.
Me too, man. This has been a hell of a time, man.
A hell of a time. I appreciate it.
I loved every second of it, man. Like
me too.
It's easy to flow when you got guys that you're all kind of on the same wavelength,
I even think, Joe, and I just thought about this, that the next time we bring our wives on, we got to bring Amanda on too. Bring him back on and bring Amanda on.
Dude.
Because
it could be fun.
Oh yeah. Well, Betsy and Lena have got to be good friends, and Lena and Amanda are friends. So I mean, it's we just have a friend triangle. So
yeah.
A menage a trois, if you will.
Whoa!
Whoa!
Well, man, Chad, we appreciate you, Bubba. So,
all right, man.
We're gonna hang up with you. Just stay on. We're gonna take you off the studio, and then we'll once we get off, we'll pull you back in. Okay.
All right.
Thank you, man. Coach. We appreciate you, buddy.
All right, man. Later.
Bye. Joe, man, great talk with Chad, man.
Absolutely, man. Like such an easy talk, such an easy flowing conversation, man.
Mm-hmm.
Like I was saying, it's the same philosophy. It's the same wavelength. I mean, it was just a great thing to have today, especially after such a long week, man. I haven't laughed that hard all week,
No. Well, I mean, we were both, like Wednesday and Thursday, I got my kids down there, and your kids aren't lifting, but you're doing presidential stuff, and you're down there, you're ribbing with me, and I'm looking at you trying to not laugh while my kid's trying to bury a PR on the squat or something like that, and then your kids are lifting, and I'm running around helping Dwayne and Camilla with the meat and making sure my kids aren't are still spotting and loading correct. So it's nice to just kind of cut it loose a little bit.
Absolutely, man. It was a great conversation to have, especially to end out the week, man. To end out the 7 weeks.
Sure.
Awesome though. I can't wait for the future of getting him back on, man. It's I kind of hope we run into him in the playoffs or something, just so I can talk to him again, like in person.
Yeah. Well, you know what we'll have to do, man. We'll have to get the families together.
Oh yeah.
So.
Oh yeah, especially because all the kids around the same age. So.
Oh yeah.
Well, anyway. Look, man, another great week, another great episode. You know, I loved every second of it, just like always. Man. You know, and we're back here. Hopefully, our new time worked out for everyone. You know, I know absolutely I'm loving it. You know, because I'm gonna get to have the past few episodes we've been finishing an hour and a half later than this.
Yeah, that's it.
So it's awesome to have this. You know, shoot, we might even have to bump it up even more.
That's it.
I don't know.
Keep rolling.
Yeah. So, all right, brother. Well, good seeing you. We'll
as always
talk this week, and
sure
all our viewers, you can always find this on demand on YouTube. You can hopefully you tuned in live on Instagram or on YouTube, but you can always find it live, and we'll be posting the past few weeks. You know, we were getting ready for state, but we'll be posting the past few weeks of reels.
Yeah.
Here this week. So be ready.
That's
for
that. That's our fault. So we're gonna get better.
Yep. So, all right, man.
All right, buddy. We'll talk to you soon, Joe.
All right.
Bye.